you know. Yeah.
Everyone, we are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Guru, and I have my brother, my good brother. We bring that fire on Wednesday nights.
The
We make
Infinity
them
Gauntlet.
and we make them rise up.
Rise up.
Rise up on Wednesday nights. Good brother.
Infinity Gauntlet. Call Thanos. That means I got five Infinity Infinity anti-Coon stones, you know?
Right.
The stone of reason, the stone of life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? One snap of the finger and the coon just disappeared. You know? I think I'm immune. You know?
Yeah. So tonight's topic is Black America's global influence is growing. But you know what's funny, Kala, and I didn't tape it when I was in Nigeria, right? So I had on my traditional situation that I wear, right? Mm-hmm. And so where I was staying, one of the I don't want to call him a kid, but he's an adult. He looked at me. He was like, "Why do you wear this traditional gear? Why do you wear this traditional wear?" And I said, like, I looked at him like, why wouldn't I? And he had on, you know, he was dressed like here in America. You know, he had, I think he had like a 50 Cent t-shirt on.
Yeah, G Unit.
Yeah. Well, he was like, he loves 50 Cent. He had on some slim jeans.
Yeah.
You know, t-shirt. He was like, I like the way you guys dress in America. It's more I forgot what he said. He basically
cool and hip and
cool and hip, but he was like
swagger.
He said he didn't have to get the clothes made like this. He could just go and buy it. Right. But then I told him, like, you know, like in Africa, to get this made is about the same price as you going to get some jeans and a t-shirt. So why would I go buy jeans and t-shirt off a rack when I could get stuff specially made for the same price?
Yeah, and like I said, like we did,
he was just like, yeah, you're right, but still, you know, I love the way you guys dress in America. That's what he told me.
And that's what it is. We they're selling that we. They're selling Black America is we're not even benefiting. Well, the thing is, Black America has a lot of influence, right? If we ever turn that influence from hip hop, right, to Pan African and something constructive, will be devastating. You know what I'm saying? Right now, white people are like, well, geez, Black people, we can't stop Black culture. Look all over Japan. The kids wear their hair in braids. They wear some wear them dashiki, some of them wear the fitted cats, whatever like that. You know, so Black culture, hip hop. They listen to hip hop. They do break dancing. They do break dancing and hip hop the way we used to do in the 80s. You know, so therefore everybody, they do rap and they got DJs. I mean, come on. Do people know the history of the turntables and DJs started in South Bronx, mixing and stuff they thought was stupid. Even some Black people back in the day thought was stupid and ignorant, mixing. Think about it. You even see country songs with a remix now. Think about that. No one even talks about that. Country music has a remix to this rock song. This is the remix to Toby Keith song. Now it's normal. Where did this stuff come from? Mixing, putting in sampling and stuff like that. We the Grandmaster Caz and all the back in the Bronx and Cool Hercules didn't know what they would revolutionize, but the energy came in from Black America. You know what I'm saying? There's an energy that Black America has. You know what I'm saying? Somebody made the comment the other day online. Why you African Americans think you're so important? Why is Black people think? Because and then somebody replied. I'm glad I did because I was tired of typing. Right? Yep. We're 13% of the U.S. population, but the whole world global narrative, when it comes down to what Black people are in this world, is based on the African American experience.
Let me say, you know what's crazy, brother? This is the hypocrisy behind this. Now, we have friends that'll say, okay, the reason why Black Americans get more, have such a larger platform is because we're in pretty much the belly or whatnot of white supremacy, right?
Yeah.
And they'll say like, well, that's the only reason why you guys are so popular and get all this attention, right? So it really doesn't count. But then those same people will come over here and want to go after the same opportunities, right? That we have. Yeah. They want the same attention and they want to jockey for the same position under white supremacy.
Yeah.
But it's okay when they do it, but they criticize.
Of course. You got to say something about being Black American. The first rule of being Black America is you should never benefit from being Black American. You know what I'm saying? You'll say, let me say it again. The first rule of being a black American is that you should never benefit from your own struggle. You should never benefit from your own labor. You should never benefit from your own talent. You should never benefit from your own struggle for human decency. Your job is to go out there and talk about civil rights, go out there and talk about this, talk about world peace, while everybody else reconciles, get their rights done and everything, bring other Africans and Caribbeans over and everything, and you just have the satisfaction that you were the ones that basically said, all men are created equal. I have a dream and all stuff like that. Everybody takes, okay, what happened to I have a dream? Well, the very people that came from aren't benefiting for the most part. We're not allowed to benefit from it. You know what I'm saying? Because if we do, we are called racist and divisive. If you say, what about us now? What about us? What do we get out of this? Oh, you're being racist. You're being divisive. So in other words, basically, how can Black America take the influence that we have around the world and benefit ourselves, and not apologizing for benefiting from our struggle? Every time somebody you look up any world leader, whether it was Gorbachev or whoever in Poland, whatever the world's coming out, everybody quotes Martin Luther King. You go to some country in Asia and everything like that, where they talk about civil rights and human rights and everything, they always quote Martin Luther King. Everybody. Okay, why can't anybody else produce their own Martin Luther King? You know why? Because no one else cares about producing Martin Luther King. They're just trying to win. They're not trying. They understand the world's not fair. They're just trying to take what they take what they can and everything. But the black man in America, we got to play by a different set of rules. We have to have this thing that it's all about everybody else and everybody should benefit. There should be no discrimination and all stuff like that. But at the same time, when it comes to these people and everything, everybody got their doors closed. Everybody can come over here, right, and take advantage of affirmative action, take advantage of minority set asides, whatever is going on right here and everything. But black people in America, you can't go to any place and say, well, what about us? Is there any special consideration for black people even in Africa? No. There's no special consideration. People say, well, you can go. No, there's no special consideration. You go to Africa, each African country, no matter how much they love you, the laws of the book is you're just still a foreigner. There's no special consideration, right? But when you go to an African comes here, you know what I'm saying? There's nobody going to deny you access to an HBCU or to get an education and stuff like that, because that's just the way fundamentally we are. And like I said, people say, well, we're the good people. Okay, I understand that. Black America is a good people. We've educated. People don't understand this, that we educated the majority of African post-colonial heads of state. Do people know that? Almost all the heads of state in Africa were products of the HBCU system in America.
Yeah, I mean, Krumah went to Wilberforce.
No, Lincoln. He went to Lincoln. Same thing with Cecil Dennis, and this guy Sherman, that was one of the Liberian statesmen. They all went to. He went to Morehouse actually with Dr. King. And not only that, Nnamdi Azikiwe went to Lincoln too. He was the father of modern Nigeria, Nnamdi Azikiwe. And he wrote a book praising the black man in America and the black man in Liberia, what they was able to do, modernize Africa and build a modern black state. Because when he left Nigeria, he said Nigeria was so tribal and backward, he thought Nigeria would never become a modern republic. But when he saw Liberia and he saw black people in America with institutions and buildings and all stuff like that, he saw in Black America. At one time, Black America was the place. Harlem, Detroit, all these places of Black America was where black culture was defined. I'm saying we had everything from Hugh Masekela to Fela Kuti. Everybody came to Harlem. Everybody came to Detroit. Everybody came here and bonded and built with us. But now the story has changed. What's the lady? The lady that was doing the this Harriet Tubman is supposed to be played by
the Nigerian
actress, right? Right. And now what the problem with that is this: there was a Nigerian, British Nigerian lady that's always taking shots at African Americans.
Yeah, I wouldn't say.
Yeah,
that is her friend.
And so black so Paris Milan did a good video about that, and this lady says really, really, really nasty things about black people in America. But no one ever looks at the fact that out of all the minority groups in the world, you said brought up about France and you said because we're in the belly of the beast, that's why we're so successful. No,
And
if that's the case,
her name is Lovey.
yeah, okay. Now, what you said was very interesting. You said the French. Somebody said that black people in America are so advanced because they're in the belly of the beast. No, we're here 400 years. Black America had institutions in this country that's over 300 years. We had institutions during slavery. We had colleges during slavery. We had a free black community. We had millionaires during slavery here in America. People don't know that history. We had successful black communities in America as early as the 1600s. You go to parts of Brooklyn, Greenwich Village in New York and everything, Central Park in New York, Nantucket, you know what I'm saying? Fort Lee, New Jersey. All these places at one time were thriving black communities that stayed among themselves, built nice homes and everything like that. We always had those, always a black community, but there was always a risk of mob violence, insecurity, and the old ever-present thing of being thrown back into slavery, kidnappers thrown back into slavery. And so this idea that Black America is we're just sitting around living off white people and we don't have anything for ourselves here in America and all that's a freaking nonsense, And it begs to differ. People always say, "Well, what are you guys gonna do for Africa? You can't do it for yourself." Do you understand the fact that we built Black Wall Street? Do they understand that we actually built the republic on the African shores one time? Do they understand that we had cities like Wilmington, northern Atlanta, and places all over America that were once thriving black communities at one time? Do they know during slavery times we had, I think it was North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company. This guy was worth $100 million, in the 19th century. Madam C.J. Walker, do they understand the strength of Black America? And so therefore, the music, how many inventors that we produced in the 19th century? It's almost staggering. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, it's in that regard where I say is why there's a lot of Black people who still believe that they're American, they can make it here. But my argument is this: yes, okay, I'll grant you that, but it will be better if we took some of our talent, right, and built something on the African continent. That's what the challenge is. Build something on the African continent. Not saying every black person got to say like this, America's been a total failure and just no. I want to draw from the best of Black America. I'm gonna say I have faith in my people. You know what I'm saying? I have a faith. We're the only group of black people that have our own encyclopedia and almanac. We have like 400 years here in the New World of achievement and accomplishment. And I am not gonna let people ghettoize our community. World Star Hip Hop and all this garbage that you see. And who was it I was talking to? This is that video where that light skinned chick from Cameroon and the Vice show. And Phil asked her, "Well, where does it get this negative stuff about Africa?" Well, they watch World Star Hip Hop. They watch basketball. They think black people are loving hip hop. Let me give you an example, Dennis. You know how I learn about most people? I read books. I learned about the Igbos. I learned about different Liberian tribes, not from videos, not from music, because they don't really learn more, they don't have them, right? I took time to learn their culture, learn the books, interacted with them and stuff like that. So I draw my own conclusions. What I find out about almost everybody, right? Majority of people, no matter what tribe you are, what race you are, most people are good. There's going to be smart people. There's going to be dumb people. There's going to be good people. There's going to be evil people, right? Everybody wants the same thing. Every culture wants to survive. Everybody culture wants to win, right? Everybody is given the benefit of the doubt in human life that the majority of people are, even if I don't know them, the majority of people, even if they live there, something I tell you in a common sense that the majority of them have to be good people. You know what I'm saying? They're working and functioning every day. Why is it when it comes to African Americans, people are allowed to paint us as this completely dysfunctional people, violent, you know what I'm saying? Everybody here is on Section 8 and welfare and everything. How are they allowed to get away with this? How are they allowed to get away with this? Why? Because there's a hidden hand working with enemies in Africa, enemies in Europe of Black America. These people, there's a hidden hand of people that don't want Black people in America to be an independent, unless you're basically going around tooting the American flag and the American ideals and everything like that. They want to silence your voice. They learned the hard way with Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali in Africa and the potential damage they did, when they were going around different. But the bottom line is this: we're going to tell it just like it is, whether it come hell over high water, and we're not going to spare anybody's feelings. If your feelings get hurt, hey, so what? If you're African and you're cooning, for the Chinese, we're going to tell you about it, right? We're going to tell you about it.
Real quick, we spoke about this on Facebook. Why are grown adult men boasting about other men coming in and build their infrastructure?
Because they're not men. They're not friggin' men. They're not damn men. No friggin' man would sit there and let another race of people come in and have carte blanche access to their women and resources and everything. Only the friggin' coward ass Black man in this today's world. Then the first one, not men, they're boys. Don't let age fool you. You know what I'm saying? These are not men. These are boys. It will pain a real Black man, real man, to sit there and say we're just so freaking inferior. We're so inferior. We're so incompetent that another race got to come in and build something, even though all the stuff they're building, we could figure out and learn how to build ourselves. And then when they come build it, we have no way, no agreement that we're going to take it over, that they're going to operate it. And not only are they going to operate it, they're going to put us in the back of the thing and segregate themselves from us in our own damn country. And most Africans are okay with this. Okay with this. So I'm supposed to sit back because some doctor or whatever like that is saying whatever they say and everything. But no, everything is not okay. Everything's not okay. It's not okay for freaking Chinese to come in there and could have a population of 1 million mixed babies on the continent. What do you think that's going to happen? What do you think the social ramifications of that? Does anybody even think about that? See, you got to understand something about Black people, right? When people are mixed in other people, they're mixed. They're really shunned and they're pushed to the margin. They become prostitutes. They can't fit in. Nobody married them, whatever like that. Black people, right? People of a darker hue have this thing that's so dangerous that when people are mixed in Black people, we elevate those people above the rest of us. It's been done in Black America, right? The mixed children of slave master can have a liaison with a slave and everything. You don't take with his family. That slave goes with the slave. Not only that, that slave is given better education, right, to rule over the darker skinned slaves and everything like that. And that's why you have that caste system in Black America to this day. So what you might have in Africa is where the Chinese start setting up shop. They might have the mixed race Chinese be the new overlords. This is going to alter. And then people think short term, but in the long term, what is that going to do for the Africa and Black people 30, 40 years from now? That means the Black identity is going to be lost, right? Because they're going to be more affectionate towards China. That means once Black America is cut off from Africa in that regard, you can forget it. If you think racism is bad now, right? See, the only card we really had to play. Somebody said, who's this? Nemo Ho said Black people have nothing to do with Africa and the country. Africans know they have to get rid of corrupt officials. Africa, shut up, But we're the only ones. But the thing about it is, we're the only ones lighting the fire to this, because you don't see Africans talking about corruption in Africa. The first thing they talk about is colonialism, neo-colonialism, and all this kind of nonsense and everything, while they're sitting there sucking on Mai Tais in Europe and Australia. Oh, it's so colonial back there. No, it's not enough to talk about corrupt African officials when you're going to get rid of them and replace them with more your corrupt officials because they're going to do your tribal bidding. That's not enough to talk about corrupt officials and everything, So I don't buy that, Wait a minute, turn my position. I gotta get used to the camera thing. My angle's all off, man. Am I straight?
Yeah. Hold on. No, you're a little. I mean, you're a little to the your left, far to the left. I don't know if you want to be centered or not. But everyone, make sure hit the like button as you guys come into the chat room. We have 148 people watching, only 47 likes. We got 21 dislikes. We already know we already know where that's coming from, but we're not going to give him and his
clown.
20 troll accounts. You're not going to pay grown ass. How do you have time to be a grown ass man to sit around and make 20 troll accounts?
People have nothing else to do in life. You know what I'm saying? Freaking clowns. You know,
how does a grown adult male have 20 troll accounts that is unapologetic about it? A grown ass man.
Yeah, and people have nothing else to do in life. They have nothing else to do in life, and so just a sad situation. But like I was saying earlier, right? Black America's global influence is growing, and we talked about one thing I want to talk about is this, right? I would basically back in the up until the 2000s and everything like that. The music that was coming out of black hip hop and everything was great, dynamite, boom, 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 boom. Now you got the growth of the mumble rappers, right? That's nothing you can really transfer. You know, not only that, the rappers aren't even black anymore. You know, I'm seeing white kids with dreads and pink stuff coming out of their head.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen, Colin. Basically, hip hop's gonna turn into. You want to know that? I think is reggae now is like the top 20 or the top 10 list for reggae were all white or something like that. It was something weird. And that's gonna happen to hip hop.
Check out Now, we're not allowed to say anything about this because remember, we're gonna fight racism. You don't want to be a racist, Dynas and Colin. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be a racist. So R&B, right? Somebody said this. Stephanie Mills made a comment about that. You know, but R&B artists, you know, she made a parting comment about black R&B artists. And I looked at this thing. I was on Spotify one day, and I was listening to some music, right? And I was going through a playlist. I was listening to grooving to the beat and everything. I was having to look up the artist, right? I'm like, a white chick, whoa. And this other guy, a rapper, G-Eazy, I'm like, what the hell is a white person? What the hell? And I'm going through the list, and when I'm saying, okay, white people are like this. They like the music, they like the sound, they like the beat and everything like that, but they don't like the black people. Why? Because no matter what, if you don't seem to understand something, what comes with you as an African American, right? And I'm gonna get to something right here, real controversial. What comes with you is the ever-present reminder of slavery. That's what it is. That's what it is. This is why they would rather bring in African actors to do roles. Why? Because when they get ready to interview them, right, they don't want them saying stuff like, our ancestors for it. That lady get ready to play Harriet Tubman is not going to basically know what it's like. The Nigerians are already on record saying we don't know nothing about slavery and we feel nothing and everything. So how is a Nigerian woman going to really know what it really feels like? You know, I got that first feeling when you're 8 years old and you got called nigger the first time, right? And then the same year, a year later, you see the movie Roots and whatnot. And you're like, okay, I feel that, you know. And they call nigga this, nigga that. I'm like, wow, there's a connection. I'm getting beat up on the schoolyard, getting called nigga, and I'm watching Kunta Kinte getting called nigga. That is the African American experience. That's something we inherit. So if you didn't inherit that legacy and everything, you know your ancestors didn't have it. How could you authentically play a role? And not saying that some of these Africans and these people can't do the role. I understand it. But there's a hidden hand behind all this, right? In other words, they want the stories out. They want the stories to sell, right? If they could get away with putting a Chinese person to play the role, they would. You know, anything to basically tell black people in America to shut up about slavery. That's what it's all about. Shut up about slavery. You know, it makes us uncomfortable. We don't want to hear about slavery. When we talk to Nigerians and everything, you know, they don't talk about slavery or they don't talk about racism. You know, they don't talk about race. They don't talk. So in other words, basically, like I said at the top of the show, black people are not allowed to benefit from your blackness. There's strength in black unity. And that's basically the message we're sending out throughout the world, right? Together we are stronger. If we unite based on race and our common racial ancestry. And people say, well, no, I don't know. Look, the bottom line is, if you don't know this, right, white people are white people, whether they're French, whether they're Portuguese, whether they're Italian, whether they're English, whatever. Like, they'll play those little back and forth with you to try to press you. But the bottom line is, when it really comes down to, the white man is going to stick with white man. The Portuguese and the Dutch are not going to go to war over with themselves over you. You know, they're going to basically come to some sort of agreement. And one of the agreements during slavery time was they never sold Africans weapons that could harm Europeans. You know, they gave Africans weapons that could only kill each other, but they never gave them the big cannons, the guns, and stuff like that.
You know, when I go to Africa, cats are still walking around with the rusty AK-47s from the Cold War era.
Oh, of course, of course. The modern African has not built up his own munitions factories and learn how to own their own weapon systems on the continent. That means any ragtag, listen to this very carefully. Listen to this and listen to this very carefully. Any ragtag group can come onto the continent at any time, right? Well armed, and take control over any government almost on the continent. Because the soldiers in each country were not for the most part, are not well armed and well equipped and everything. And also, Europeans supplied them with weapons. And munitions only have a shelf life of a couple of years. So you got to constantly replenish your munition stocks and everything. So if you have armies that have weapons that are like 20, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old even, right? Those old AK-47, which is embarrassing, you know? And you got people coming in with night vision and some of everything. I've seen weapons, Dynasty, man, you've seen some of these weapons they got out now. You know,
man, you got to see the shit that Russia and
it's China made. Yeah, laser. God dang, man, you know?
I saw the laser. But Russia, they have like a damn near a Superman suit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They got body armor, night vision, some of everything when that if they really want to take
but then here in America, you know, U.S. military, they got the shit, the sniper that can shoot you from like a mile away.
Right. So these people are armed. They're building their weapons up and weapons. But you understand something? African militaries were never designed for to keep up. But that's why you never hear African countries. You'll never hear African countries say we need the latest weapons because we got to worry about some outside invasion. African governments, the way they're set up right now, as a post-colonial, is designed to keep the population under control. They're never designed for the existential threat or invasion, everything like that, or an extraction even. You know, it was never the African countries in modern Africa was never designed to deal with a threat from outside. It's always basically keeping the population under control while the foreign interests and all these things are secure. That's it in a nutshell. That is the nutshell. And the bottom line is, and people get angry when I say this, and they're angry when they hear Dynasty's show and stuff like that. But we're gonna tell it like it is. People get, you know what it is, when people listen to these shows, what happens is they show up in different chat rooms and start talking stuff. Well, is this true? And these so-called hosts, they get angry. Oh man, this is so now they, instead of them buck dancing and everything like that, now I got an answer for my Cooney. You know, I got an answer for this. You know, what is this? Why are we letting the Chinese do this? Trust me, the whole anti-China thing is not just this just happened over the last 2 months. Before Africa was on board with all this, show me 2 months ago where anybody was questioning China's presence in Africa. Show me anywhere on the internet where anybody but this show, ourselves and Dynasty, everybody was talking about this. Now everybody's talking about voicing concern over China. You know, no, because people start asking questions and they start digging a little deeper, and they're like, "Well, geez, man, maybe this guy Colin and Dynasty, maybe they really onto something. You know, maybe they're onto something. You know, why? Because we seriously got a real interest in building in Africa, and China is going to be in the way. As simple as that. Now, it doesn't mean that there could be that might not be legitimate interest and stuff like that. We know we'll have to see when we're on the ground. But when I see $60 billion being thing and all these African leaders with no transparency whatsoever set up and everything, $60 billion and everything. At the same time, the United States is slapping $200 billion on tariffs on China. That means China is about to might go into a recession. So what's going to happen when China starts losing money? They're going to start calling in these loans, as we happen right now in Zambia. What's the official word on Zambia? They took over the port.
I don't know. I don't know the official word. I could definitely get I can reach out to somebody who's on the ground and get
right. Before we hear, China is like partner ownership of the power company. You do not let a foreign government entity even near 20% ownership in the power grid of your country. You don't do that. You know, your power system, your water supply, all that shit, that's national security. That's the first, at all costs, you make sure your power system, your power grid stays well maintained and solvent. So therefore, the fact that Zambia took these loans and everything like that, didn't monetize its copper like it was supposed to, kept the same sort of thing. And I remember Zambia, the price of copper fell in Zambia right during 10 years ago, right? And China came in. Well, guess what? China's taking. If you will see the amount of copper China's taking out of Zambia, right? China doesn't have the decency to keep the copper inside of Zambia, right? And let Zambia take loans like we're trying to do with the Natural Bullion Bank in Angola, right? Instead of them monetizing the copper, right, and selling it on options, and China might, in the back end, right, be able to the final recipient of this, right, if they keep their financing levels and the collateral debt and all that in order, right? They basically taking the copper, right, building taking the copper outside of the continent and bringing it, stashing it in China. Once the copper thing, you got a piece of paper, a loan, right? Paper, nothing. And you took out something tangible, right? And they exchanged something tangible, and you're left with a friggin' thing. So now you lost your copper, right? Now you're in debt because they didn't give you the grant to build all these railways and everything like that. They gave you a loan. So now you're saying, well, geez, how do we benefit from this? How are you in debt when they took out millions and millions of pounds of copper bullets every year? It just, and you ask these questions, and you ask these questions, and people are like, well, why do you say it? Because the bottom line, because I can. If no one else is going to say something, I'm going to say something. There's something definitely wrong going on in the black world. The reason why Black America, the image Africans have of Black America through VH1 and all this stuff like that that's spread throughout the world is not done by actors.
You know what's crazy, Colin? Sorry to cut you off. In Zambia, I have a troll, right? I have a troll. Her name is Mika. She's more concerned.
Oh yeah, I remember her.
About
she called us slaves. She wasn't by one of us.
Well, yeah. She's more concerned about black consciousness coming to Zambia than what's going on right now with these Chinese.
Right, I remember her. Yeah, I remember that.
And also, too, maybe a couple years ago, they had a situation with some Lebanese. There was a Lebanese restaurant, and something happened. Well, basically Lebanese being Lebanese and disrespecting the Zambians. But she's more concerned about black consciousness. But go ahead.
Yeah. She's more concerned. She make a comment like, when you was in Nigeria, you put that picture up with the slave thing, and she said she would like to buy you and something like that. I mean, just comment. These Africans come over here and they say the most racially insensitive thing. Are we doing so bad to you that you would go there? You know what I'm saying? That you would go there with something like that? And she's sitting there with her weave on her head and whatnot. Well, I get along with white people. Shut the heck up, And it's just sad, And I think what it is there's a lot of Africans who come over here, right? And they don't understand. When you come to America, you're trying to climb the ladder. We are the ladder here, But you were told that, you just don't have to deal with black people in America. Just deal with white. It's not like that. White people are not going to let you in their inner circles. They're not going to let you into their families. They're not going to let you around them. They don't care. But once the novelty runs off and everything, you are just another refugee that they got to take care of, right? I remember one time a couple of years ago, I was doing Uber, right? A couple of years ago, right? I remember I picked up these three Nigerians. I wrote an article about this on Facebook, right? I wrote these three Nigerian sisters, man. Oh my God, they were fine, man. I mean, Fine. I was asking what tribe they're from. One was Igbo, two was Yoruba. They were, oh my God, Yoruba girls. Oh jeez. Let me stop. But they were fine. They were fine. Tall, model like, you know. And so I said, they said we're here in Virginia Beach and everything like that. Just got the airport. We want some place to go. We all picked an hotel, right? I said, well, we can go here, this other place like that. She goes, let me ask you a question. You know what I'm saying? Where are the black spots at? And I was shocked, right? Because I was like automatically assuming, this was back in 2015. I was automatically assuming that they were gonna say, well, white. She was like, no, where the black spots at? I said, well, there's Montego's. Montego's still there, Jamaican restaurant, and world famous Jamaican restaurant in Virginia Beach, island restaurant and everything. I said Friday, Saturday's club night. Montego went, oh, take us there. There's black people there. Yeah, we want to be around some black people. I was like, told him, I said, look, you know how good that makes me hear you say it. So, oh, we're all people. When I come here, I guess they must have got their wake up call. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You could tell at one time they probably came over here and were like, okay, tried the white thing, it didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? But they were like, yo, we just let's well, I went that I took him to Montego. I let him get out. Yo, bro, these thirsty bros out here in Virginia. Every neck was broke. Every brother broke their neck turning. And bro, opening the door. Elsa, I just stood there like outside because I watched them when they went in, right? And every dude in the club was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. They're like, I was like, oh, first of all, I'm gonna take them to several different places and say, no, we're good. You can go, we're good. Elsa said, I said, that made me feel good. They're like, they saw these bros up in there and everything. Everybody dressed nice and everything. They're like, this is good for us when they had the reggae pumping and shit. And they were like, okay. I said, that's what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to see. Black people with black people. You know what I'm saying? So when you're educated, experienced, you understand when you come to America, your place is with black people. You know what I'm saying? Your place is with us. Your place is with us. Yeah, there's going to be tensions and this and thing, but your place is with us. You know what I'm saying? You'll come over here talking about all this. Well, I gotta go with white people and all. Shut the heck up. No one's gonna kiss your ass. This thing. Your black ass belongs with us. You know what I'm saying? And the bottom line, success or fail, it's gonna be with Black America. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like it or not. So this idea. So that's right. Black America is influence is growing. You know what I'm saying? It's growing. There's nothing gonna be done in Africa unless it includes us. Our political, we just have to get to the point where get this. If we let all these black people in America, how many people in the BAO is leaving, going to Ghana, going to Kenya, going to Rwanda? Everybody, I'm going there. I got my plane ticket booked up and everything. We got all kinds of study groups going on, stuff like that. And you got people on outside of BAIO doing other things and everything. And I'm saying to myself, how come if we want to see better U.S. relationships with Africa and trade and stuff like that, how come this is not even mentioned at the Congressional Black Caucus and people so-called representing us?
That's a good question. I don't understand why the CBC or anybody's not mentioning that.
I said this because we are controlled. They are controlled. Let me tell you something, folks. If you go out there and give them your vote this November, you are a freaking fool. They have not done anything to engage Black America to justify us getting out there and voting. For what? Michelle Obama's going around with comment. Black people get out there and vote. We gotta get out there and vote. For what? For what? What the heck are we voting for? Because our ancestors, this is no sacred cow. Because our ancestors suffered and died for right to vote. We gotta get out there and vote. Huh? we gotta get out there and vote. But they don't tell you, okay, they say, okay, well, we're out there and vote. Let's vote for the GOP. No, they didn't suffer you die. You just said vote. Well, let's go. Well, like last election, I voted third party. You know how much shit I got, man. Diane, man. I had people threatening me one night because I put a Facebook meme up there talking about, I'm gonna vote third party. I think that thread went like 150 deep. How dare you? I said, I think I'm gonna vote for a third party, Jill Stein, right? She has a black vice running mate. Motherfuckers were coming at me. Excuse my language. Dudes were coming at me left and right. How dare you? We got to vote for Hillary. And I said, look, nah, I think I'm going to go because at least Hillary, this guy, I was just being an asshole. I said, this guy, Jill Stein got a black running mate. Do you know you cannot find no picture of her and her running mate anywhere on the internet or the media? You cannot find any picture of Jill Stein and her Baraka or whatever his name is. You cannot find a picture of him anywhere on the media. Why? Because they knew that that picture right there alone would have took away some black votes. So therefore, black people, let's stop being stupid. Stop being stupid. I'm not telling you to vote Republican or Democrat and everything like that. But the bottom line is this: when you go to vote, let them speak to your issues. Trust me, when Trump and all the people go out there, they're speaking to white America, they're speaking to the issues, the values, the principles. I say, I'm with you. I believe this. What are the principles and values of Black America? What are the principles and values of Black America? Other than we just get up there singing and dancing and shouting and say everything's gonna be all right while we're getting our asses whooped. What is the principles and values of Black America? We shall overcome. We're
we're gonna rise up.
We're gonna rise up when what I'm saying? And you're gonna be a good African American, you know what I'm saying? And the bottom line is this, the bottom line is this, they created this thing called, and I consider myself African American, right? But I'm not an African American. What's the difference, You know what I'm saying? And African American is somebody believes I'm African, this and the other thing. But then there's a pseudo chic, African American on everything, right? That means someone defined what you are. Whatnot. You got to go out there and vote Democrat. You got to go out there and do all this kind of nonsense and everything. And and I know, and they know that nothing's ever going to change for your situation. But you want to play the game because you deep down inside want to be an American. You know what I'm saying? You want to be an American. You want this, that, the other thing. You think you got something and everything. And the whole thing is, they know they're never going to give up their racism. They're never going to give up their privilege. The reason why you are getting shot by police and the police department is covering up for it is because white people really always need to know that being white in this country has some sort of significance. Now, do I say it again? When George Zimmerman was acquitted, I don't know, you was that 2013, I think it was 2013, 2014. When he was
13, it was 13, I think.
Okay, okay. When he was acquitted, the reason why George Zimmerman happened because Barack Obama won the re-election. White people are angry. You know what I'm saying? He got 2 terms. The thought of black people, the thought of being white in this country and not having some significance or racial hierarchy is not enough. It's enough to send white people all across the wall. No matter what Barack Obama did to them, he helped pull whites out more than any other group of people, but they still resented having them. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The fact that a black man would help them out. They'd rather die, you know what I'm saying, than take so-called Obamacare. Now, when George Zimmerman was acquitted, I'll never forget this, right? During that time period, there were people who were having backyard parties and barbecues, parties. Zimmerman got off. I want you to think about that for a second. What this said was black people getting killed. And when Michael Brown gets killed and the prosecutor gets up, and when you see Eric Garner, that basically tells them that this is a sick relationship that, yes, all right, I can live with racism. Why? Because I always have to believe that because I'm white, this cannot happen to me. And that's something that's been in America since the Bacon Rebellion in the 1600s, right? Where you had to make white people feel that they were just above black people at all times just because of the color of their skin. So in other words, having that white skin it's not even white privilege, it's white survival, white guarantee. Like a guarantee or it's like a white insurance policy. That white skin is like having a white insurance policy that no matter what, that there's a basic level of life, standard of living that I'm entitled to. It doesn't matter. And I was talking to this recently with Dynas. I said, why is it that when Africans will talk about what black people in America is not doing, but they never talk about what white Americans are not doing? Right. You ever notice that?
Right. And then they'll play the get over race. It's not racism. Stop.
Well, how do you explain Donald Trump then? We're supposed to get over racism, but white people can't get over racism. How do you explain Donald Trump and the anti-immigration thing? Now the same Africans are like this. They're about to be deported. You know what I'm saying? They're rounding up left and right with that. Why come they don't take their own medicine? Now they're like, oh man, how can we? They'll talk with all that smack, you know, living high alcohol. Now reality set in. The real America is here. Donald Trump is the real thing. He is white America. That's what really. That's the America we were talking about all the time. These cops, these racist cops with the white power symbols and everything like that. Yes, get scared. Be very afraid. You know, be very afraid. These are the people we had to deal with. These are the people we had to tread water around because it's very dangerous. It's we always know, no matter what you it's dangerous for being a black man in America. You know, and it's dangerous for black men to try to date white women and stuff like that. That's why we get angry when we see white men with black women because they don't have any consequences. They can do whatever they want to do. When they can right in front of you when I date grope a black woman, whatever like that, and these stupid black girls let them do it. You know, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? You got a lot of brothers from overseas come over here, and they just basically gonna think they're gonna get with white girls, and I'm into white chicks. And then you know how many incidents in Jersey where they found Africans hung? Were you following that dynasty a couple of years ago? Kenyans, you know, immigrants, you know, hung.
Okay, well, I know a lot of that's going on in Saudi Arabia.
No, it's going on in the United States, and they rule them suicides. You know, they try to cover a room suicide. There was a lot of hangings, African immigrants. You know, it goes on all the time, and they rule suicides. You know, in fact, in the state of Mississippi, there were 50 unexplained suicides in Mississippi jails.
Now, what was crazy, and this is a little off topic, there was a man that was decapitated.
Yeah.
On his front porch, and it's still unsolved. But shout out to Major Payne for the super chat. When Black Americans go back to Africa, we should just be business minded, power and wealth for us and other Africans for the next 500 years.
Yeah, we should be building business. I'm about business. You know, say about business. Let's build something. You know, let's not playing games. You know, so like let's just build something. You know, and the whole thing is when we start doing that, you'll start seeing something. You start seeing right now. The reason why we're losing right now, folks, is because our people don't have a future. They have no direction. You cannot criticize the young people and everything like that if you're not principled, right? And you don't have any direction for them. You know, you have a vast continent. You have the Caribbean. You have Black America and everything combined, almost 2 billion people. But yet, there's no infrastructure connecting both of them. We're cut off from Africa. There's no trade. There's not even a cruise ship lines going between here, the Europe, the Caribbean, everything. There's no trade. There's almost very little trade. There's nothing going on. Same time, look at Asia. There's trade between there's $400 billion trade between the South China Sea between China and Japan. Add another few billion dollars from China, Japan, and Korea to China. Add some more $1 billion in the logistics to Singapore and everything like that, and you understand why Asians have the Pacific Century, where they rival the West now, and that's bad fact surpass the West in productivity. Go there to the Philippines and go to Hawaiian Islands, Guam, all these other things. The Asians have a global Pacific network and everything. Now expands to the globe. Now China is building the overland, completing by building the old Silk Road, right? Which is going to be a road and highway corridor that's going to stretch from China all the way to Cairo, Egypt. You know, these are things that's going on in the world. At the same time, what is the black race doing? Oh, we're going to sit here and argue with Black America because African Americans dare to talk about, well, what can we do to build something together for our people? And so we can be involved, you can be involved, and stop being scared of white America, what white America is going to think. Let me tell you to let you on a secret, they're going to hate you anyway. They're going to put doubt in your head anyway. But then,
hey, repeat that again, what you just said. That's important.
Look, they are going to hate you anyway. They're going to put doubt in your mind anyway. They do not want to see. See, the whole thing is this. Once Black America really have it in their mind that I want to build with Africa and this is my future, like I do. You know what I'm saying? I've been like this for 25 years now. You know what I'm saying? I've been studying Africa, been studying African development for 25 years now. So once you have it in your mind that it's time for us to build together and build the infrastructure together, build trade and everything like that, you don't care anymore about them. So when they come around with this, well, you black people, we don't need you. You know, but every time you see, let me give you an example. Did you see that video with Charles Barkley and the other guy with Richard Spencer.
Yeah.
Now, what I appreciate about Richard Spencer is he's honest. And people up there, oh man, Richard Spencer's this that. Let me tell you something, folks. Right, as nice as a guy could be, that is the thinking of like 99% of white people. They care about themselves. It's about their racial survival. Those who don't tell you that are lying to you. Their genetic survival is everything. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about no damn constitution. What's a constitution if they're gonna have mixed babies running around and everything, and they're gonna lose? They don't give a dang about the Declaration of Independence. They don't care about Thomas. All that stuff is by so-called white conservatives to put window dressing. But the main thing is, in this land, the white man is God. Having that white skin makes you God. And things can happen. The black man has no rights that a white man is bound to respect. And their whole thing is about having power. No white person will sit back and let black people or another race of people have power over them or decide the future. But at the same time, we have the black race and whatnot. It's okay for us to have other people overruling over us and dictating to us what we need to do. There's something wrong with that. Why is it that we as a race let other people tell us, we got to rely on other people to give us loans, to build stuff for us, everything. And we're not, and what's sick about it is we're not even finding any humiliation in that. We don't even think any humiliation in that. If even got to the point I heard one person arguing back and forth, well, the China, we're going to be closer to China than you are. Africans are jockeying position now of who's going to be closer to China. Going back and forth with that. Not building, saying, how can we get together with ourselves and build a continent and everything? But what we're going to say is, what we're going to do. Let's see. Let me. Are you monitoring some of these comments in the chat room? Make sure nobody said nothing slick. Let's see. As soon as the game is over, as soon as worship this says, why would Black America want to take me so Africa tell you? Whoever said Black America? I hope I didn't think I said that. We're taking resources from Africa. We're not going to be taking. We're going to take resources on the continent so we can build. You know what I'm saying? Build industries. Why would we take the wealth and everything off the continent? If you basically mine minerals, turn those minerals into finished goods, bring the means of production on the continent. Well, how can we do that? You build infrastructure. Well, how do we build it? Well, that's what it is. That's why we have a Black African Infrastructure Organization. It's a growing concept and idea, but it just might be the thing. That means Black people, African people have a unified global infrastructure, unified everything. Well, it's telecommunications, medical systems, IT systems, whether it's educational systems, whether it's shipping, whether it's logistics, everything. A global infrastructure of politics. You know what I'm saying? We're all on one political accord. Everything works in sync. Right now, one monetary system. One monetary system. If we have that, then we have a fighting chance of survival. But if we don't, you know what I'm saying? We are finished. You know what I'm saying? If we don't do this, let me tell you something right now, folks. If we don't do this, we are finished. Because once Africa goes, right, that's the only card we really had to play. The white man knows that too. That's the only card we have left to play. Once that goes, if you think racism is bad now, right, and you basically will have nothing. If you're complaining about the relationship right now between Africans and African Americans now, once you get cut off from the continent of Africa and everything, the white people know you really have no escape route, anything like that, it is going to get really bad in this country. I'm talking about on a scale that you will not want to imagine. You think people getting tased and shot right now are bad? With that, and they know for a fact of the matter is it's all about power. What can you do about it? Are you going to rise up again? You know what I'm saying? You're going to rise up like you did in Ferguson? No, they can systematically eliminate you.
And listen, rise up like we did in Ferguson, and D-Ray walk off with all the glory.
Yeah. That guy. Yeah.
Rise up and D-Ray.
Yeah, and that just shows me that just shows me right there. That showed me he had a gay guy, D-Ray, and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And a bunch of lesbians and everything. They created their own Black Lives Matter group, right? But you know what gets me is this Dennis right here, Dennis, right? The media, if they were really, the right wing media, if they were so against Black Lives Matter as they claim they are, they could have easily discredited them. You know what I'm saying? So you tell me that you don't know that these people are getting money and they're not really they had nothing to do with the family, Mike Brown's family. They had nothing to do with the stuff, and they were pushing the alternative agenda. But no, you don't believe that. Why? Because they need Black Lives Matter as a scapegoat, as a straw man. See, look at these Black Lives Matter, Black Lives. So what they did was they made any group, they just put them all in the same thing. Those people, D-Ray, those people were social justice war. They were out for they had their own agenda, which was the LGBT, feminism, anti-patriarchy. You know what I'm saying? You listen to that thing. You know what I'm saying? Socialism, free money for single mothers, whatnot. We want to be liberated from the male patriarchal structure. All these, you see the list of demands they had, you know? And so they went over there and hijacked the movement, right? They didn't hijack the movement gave it to them. So let me know that despite all this internet stuff we talk about and everything, the fact that the media was able to appoint them as the leaders of so-called Black Lives Matter, and that people couldn't be smart enough to say, okay, there's Black Lives Matter, but let's be Black Lives Matter 2, or Black Lives Matter RBG, Black Lives to distinguish and brand yourself away from what they. And what these people do, they got invited to with celebrities, they went to the fashion thing and everything, and so these people got rich, writing books, doing speeches and everything like that. And then what happened? In the end, the result was Michael Brown didn't get any justice.
No justice.
No justice. Why? Because you people are so good at playing on your emotions. You know what I'm saying? Everybody play on emotions. The media does that. But I remember one time there was a Black Lives Matter thing, right? And the people had all black on, right? It was in Richmond, Virginia, right? And come to find out, they weren't even, they were white people. They were Antifa. A lot of Antifa had infiltrated them, right? And they said Black Lives Matter shut down the highway in Richmond, right? And they arrested them, right? And they were all white. They had Black Lives Matter shirts and all, but they were dressed all black, right? And they dyed their hair all black and everything. They had masks on. When they arrested the people, they were all white people. You know? And so you got all these various groups and everything like that joining. And so I'll ask you a question. Okay, if you got a beef with the U.S. government and you guys don't like the skinheads and the fascists, okay, fine. But what does that have to do with us getting justice for Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, and Eric Garner and all those people? You know, I guess that's not the issue anymore. You know, that's not the issue anymore. Okay, we'll move on. We'll put that on the back burner, man. We got to get this issue right here. Just saying nothing. I'm like, no, this is what drove us out here. You know, this guy Eric Garner got choked and killed. That's what I'm concerned about. All the other stuff you're talking about, you know what I'm saying? We don't really. Good luck to you. But the whole thing is, we let that momentum be sucked out of our movement and everything, and our concerns and everything, and no one can really refine it. What is all this stuff you're talking about? Well, the one girl in Black Lives Matter said, "Well, we're trying to queer up the movement. Queer up the movement. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get justice for queer folk. What the hell has that got to do with freaking Eric Garner and Michael Brown? You know, queer up the movement is important. You got 2 dead bodies and whatnot." And so, like I said, and then no one said that. But the thing is, if the right wing was so against Black Lives Matter, which they weren't, because they knew these people were going to come in and take the momentum away and everything, it was going to fizzle out. And that's exactly what happened. Now try to get any sort of large gathering and everything. Like I said, in Dallas, then after that, right, they create such a thing. Now, if you travel across state lines, right, for a protest and everything, you get in trouble. Now they got all kinds of laws now where you're breaking. How'd that pass? I have no idea. If you travel across state lines to participate in the demonstration, stuff like that. So you got these brothers and sisters and one white person down in Dallas who was arrested just for showing up for peaceful protests. So they got all kinds of stuff, ways of stopping all this dissent and everything. So it's just a mess. Just a mess. So something else. Oh yeah, did you watch a video about
you know what? I started watching it, but I haven't finished it yet.
Right,
it's about
right.
Radical Home System in
With Dr. Mumbi, right? Now I'm not gonna throw Dr. Mumbi completely under the bus, but I think when she says stuff like Black people in America are not properly raised and stuff like that. In other words, basically, the only people that cut up in the chat room are Black people from America. You know what I'm saying? Africans go at it with each other, they say anything, but make a generalized. Did she apologize for her generalized statement? But if you're a so-called Pan-Africanist, why would you make a generalized statement in the first place? Black people in America aren't raised right and everything. They don't know how to act and everything. Because somebody was calling out this guy Wole, because he put down, and that it was Black men in America that was coming to the defense of African women. This guy was making comments about African women don't do this for him, African women don't do that for him, Chinese women, and this guy's obsessed with China, Chinese women. And people called him on it, right? And they took up for him, saying he's entitled to the pay. I'm like, wait a minute here. Wait a minute. If we're gonna talk about, if we're gonna be a real race or whatever like that, or not. Somebody named Bart Katembo. Oh, my friend, my buddy. I'm saying, Mr. Genesis, please address this. Do you ever realize that no other group is trying to have a cap for us? It's always way around. Well, the whole thing is this. Let me tell you something, folks. Let me tell you something that's going to shock you. There is no really us in Black America, right? There's a set of circumstances, issues, and everything like that, aesthetic that we all believe in, just that thing. Main thing is the white man is kicking our ass, right? We all know that, right? Shit can happen. You know what I'm saying? Shit can happen. You know what I'm saying? And the bottom line is this, right? Racism and all stuff like that is here. And also in America, the white man is God, right? But here's the thing. Most people, right, are cool with that. Why? Because everybody knows the worst thing you could be in America is a African American slave descendant male. So everybody else jockeys for position under this system, right? Everybody wants to get their little crumbs in, this, that, thing, but they're not trying to overturn the system and everything like that. They want to redefine and all the stuff like that. The basic condition of the African American male, the status of African American male has not changed, and never will change because that's the way America is. So when everybody talk about, oh, we need to join these coalitions and everything, something? If they overturn gay marriage and all stuff like that, LGBT, goodbye those coalitions. Why? Because they got what they want. But let me try to repeat that again, Dinus. You know what I'm saying? Let me repeat that again.
Go ahead and repeat it. Go ahead.
Once the legal aliens get legal status and everything, and they're able to come across the borders and everything, but just by a stroke of a pen, goodbye your friends that you thought you had would be legal. Why? Because not only are they going to be just Americans, but they're going to join the police force. They're going to join everything like that. And they're going to be just as racist and paternalistic, whatever like that, to keep you down. You saw that video where the Nigerian brother was, the Nigerian security guard was following the brother around. Bro said, why are you following me around? Just saying the other thing. Bottom line, people come here to join Team White Supremacy. That's whether you're gay, whether you're illegal, whether you're African, whether you're anything. Everybody wants to join this thing called America, which is Team White Supremacy. And to do so, there's a certain set of rules here. One is you have to make sure your foot is on the neck of the African American male. Subjecting him is the key to all this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm an African American male right here. And my foot is not going to be on my neck and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I'm not coming here with a little apple, peel to peel apple. I'm carrying around a double-bladed axe. You know what I'm saying? I fight for my people. I care about my people. And I want what's mine and my people's in this world. You're not going to hold your neck. You're not going to hold me to those systems that I don't benefit from. So if you want to fight for America, you want to fight for your rights in America, you on your goddamn own. Nobody come to me about your little issues. I don't really give a damn. Whether you're black, white, and everything like that. If your issue is not about nationhood and liberation of black people in there, I don't want to hear anything you have to say. Because everybody else get their little issues solved and everything, and they done moved on. And we're still stuck in the same thing. What happened to all these liberals in the 1960s? What happened to these anti-war presidents that were so-called our friends in the 1960s? Where they at? They're on Fox News, CNN, and everything. They moved on. You understand that? They moved on. They don't care about you. There's no coalitions. We have no damn friends. So I don't give a damn about some of these other political groups trying to come in here and ride on our backs when we got us LGBT and blacks need to join together. Get the hell out of here. What are you, insane? There's nobody riding on my back. And nobody riding on my people's back. If you want your rights, whatever you feel you're entitled to, you're on your own. But you have no business in a place like where I'm at or no movement I'm a part of. Because like you got people out there now. Now the latest thing is, we need marijuana legalization. Okay, here we go now, right? It's a civil right to smoke weed now.
Man, bro, listen. I don't understand how black people think this marijuana legalization, how they're going to benefit from it. Let me tell you what I see. Let me tell you what I see in LA. So all the marijuana dispensaries are owned by like Armenians and whites. Like black people will just be standing in front of these dispensaries looking like zombies.
Yeah.
It's so embarrassing, but they think that they're going to win. You know.
Yeah. Instead of taking up farming and real permaculture and agriculture, building something, they think they're gonna join the thing, the marijuana. Oh yeah, weed stocks will go up. This is the next best thing. Come on, Negro. If you haven't benefited from anything else that they put out there, what makes you think this is gonna be anything different? You know. So like I said, the bottom line is everybody always comes around. They always have you always tell people they got the ulterior agenda. I give people a time. I give people like 6 months before they reveal themselves. You know, like I said, your soul, they say, whatever is in your soul, your behavior is going to reveal. You know what I'm saying? Your behavior is going to reveal who you are, right? If you're basically pervert, whoremonger, all these things like that, you're a pedophile, you're all these things like you're a degenerate and everything, pretty soon you're going to reveal yourself. You're going to reveal yourself to me. So the bottom line is this. You stay on the course of liberation and seeing your people free one day, everything, you'll get on the right path. But you start taking on all these other issues and everything like that they throw in there to try to throw you off course and everything like that, you are going to go down. And you're not taking me down with you. Because the bottom line is this. The bottom line is the world does not want to see the black man in America rise. You know what I'm saying? Keeping the black man in America oppressed, fearful, terrified. Now they're using terror. You know what I'm saying? A little police officer gun you down and they're putting fear in the back of your head that this could happen to you.
No, listen. Could go to the wrong apartment on the wrong floor and gun you down in your apartment.
Gun you down in your apartment. And we're going to have a debate on this. Debate on this. Politicians can't even take a firm stand. This is unacceptable. So what is this telling you? Oh, now what one thing they use? Oh, we found some marijuana. We found some marijuana in his apartment, Oh, he was next thing we're gonna hear, he's a thug. John was a thug. Gene was a thug. We're gonna hear all this stuff like that. You got the little police officer and everything. She's just a little tiny white girl. And the bottom line is this: from the very bowel and the soul of Texas, right? There's nothing in the very soul of Texas. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me say something. Everything in white America right now, right, is going to do every kind of trick, every kind of thing to exonerate this girl because the whole idea of America is to protect that little white girl. Your life as a black man is not worth it. Trayvon Martin's life was not worth George Zimmerman spending the rest of his life in jail. What part of that don't you understand? This is a country you're coming over here and getting citizenship for and pledge allegiances to, which I don't understand why my African brothers do that. You come over here and you say, I pledge allegiance. You know what allegiance means? I mean, I give him my all. I'm allegiance. I believe in the system. And I'm noticing now you got more racist Latinos and everything. Why? Because once the white man gives them that chance to become American, the one thing they think in the back of their mind is, they know the enemy of the white man is the black man in America, right? So they join Team White Supremacy to rub us out. That's whether you're Latino, whether you're African immigrant, you're all these people like that. If you want to be an American and you want to go to America, you have to join the anti-black Team White Supremacy system. That's just the way it is. It's about keeping the black man oppressed in America. We have no friends. We have no allies. And this idea that in 2043, oh, people of color are going to be the majority. People of color, we're going to be the majority. We got Ron Martin, I'm saying, sitting down with a pork chop and a biscuit in his hand, talking about, yeah, you got to be ready for that year, 2043. People of color are going to be the majority. Yeah. And I'm saying to myself, let me say,
and the prices of biscuits and pork chops go down by 15%. By 15%, it'll go down.
What gets me is this, right? Now we take the painstaking thing. You travel to Africa, you're going to second. Hopefully, I'm going to be there in 2019, early 2019. We're taking the painstaking thing of doing all this work and everything. We provide all this information. We have influence on the internet right now. We're forcing people, other platforms, to talk about Africa and talk about black people in a geopolitical global sense, right? We're doing all this, right? The black so-called mainstream media, am I missing something here? You know what I'm saying? The only thing you're going to sit back and talk about is 2043. But you mean to tell me there is absolutely nothing, there's nothing left in the mainstream black culture? The internet, right? I said this 10 years ago. The internet is the writing on the wall. What you see on the blog wall is the writing on the wall. These chat rooms are the writing on the wall. Yeah, be very afraid. Be afraid, all you coons, all you Uncle Toms, all you delay tactic Negroes. Yes, be afraid and be very afraid. Because when you see these brothers up and sisters out here in these chat rooms condemning your coon ass and everything like that, and forcing you to look at Africa and everything like that, that's right. We're gonna have it so that if you don't talk about Pan-Africanism, Africa with a pro thing, you are gonna be a thing of the past. No one's gonna freaking talk to you. No one's gonna talk like that. And then they get mad. How the hell you see them sometimes, they blow up sometimes. I don't talk about no damn Africa. Well, dang, then people say something like, well, geez, man, they'll talk about this, and that new Dynasty Mir just got back from Nigeria, and man, fuck, man, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, you know what I'm saying? I was born here.
The Diners is trying to trick us. He said, what Diners is trying to do is the switcheroo. Hold on, let me say that. The switcheroo. See, we's indigenous Hebrew Israelite Moes, native Chinnequay, Cherokee Indians. And see, what that is trying to do is try to get us to go to Africa, and then the Africans will come to America and pull the switch. And see, they gonna come over here and get our birthright, and they gonna send us to Africa. That's that game that is trying to do. That game, the big switch.
Yeah, and Kala, Kala's really African and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? He ain't fool nobody. He was born in Africa and this, that, thing. So him and Diners are trying to they try to change the accents.
That is from Africa. He lying. Man, my ass was born and raised Sacramento, California.
I was born and raised in South Jamaica, Queens. Queens representing, the largest black middle class in the Western Hemisphere. The largest black community in the Western Hemisphere, South Jamaica, Queens. I grew up in a strong black patriarchal culture, society. You know what I'm saying? I've seen what black civilization could look like. Growing up in South Jamaica, Queens. That's black. That was Africa to me. You know what I'm saying? So growing up in Queens, you saw rich black people and poor black people living together in harmony. Rich and poor. People had lots of money, took vacations to the Caribbean, Europe, whatever like that, and people were basically not doing so well. But the bottom line, it was a black world. You know what I'm saying? When you live together, you learn to get along, you learn to socialize with each other. So that's what I'm talking about. So I'm from the
See, Diners is trying to trick us. See, Diners wants the black Americans who are indigenous, who are aboriginals, really aboriginals. He wants to trick us into going to Africa, and the Africans gonna come to America and take our positions. They're gonna take our roles
and now
and take our birthright. See, Dynasty is trying to trick us.
And none of that, check us out. Please join, support my GoFundMe, you know what I'm saying, to stop Dynasty College Genesis. We got 57. We don't know what we're trying to do yet, but keep showing $50,000, man. Will make a dusty Negro proud. It's just, and the bottom line is, like I said, oh yeah, we can just something. And since I've been on thing, have I ever sold anything on this platform? Have I ever sold anything? They say, you guys sell T-shirts and everything. I'm like, wow, that's news to me. We have a cafe press, which we have a link. If you are an enthusiast, you want to go buy a BL shirt and everything. We do not make money off of that. We do not make money off of that. I have never once mentioned it. I forgot all about we had it. You can go there, order BL shirt, T-shirt, mug, whatever you have. It's just a little label. They put your little stuff on there, and you can order it. There's a keychain and everything like that, just for people who are members of the BAL and they want to show support and everything like that when they're out, But it doesn't, the bottom line is we are not making money off of this. You know what I'm saying? Dynasty is gracious of letting us do this platform and everything, and we at the BAL are so grateful for Dynasty because of him, our message is spreading and everything in a powerful way, And the whole thing is now, if you are a black man, and if you don't have a plan, or if you don't talk about Africa and geopolitics, pro or con, no one's going to take you seriously. We already told you the American political system is done. So stop talking about Donald Trump. Stop talking about Republicans. It's done. You got major shifts in the world going on right now and everything like that. You got people from all over the world going to your ancestral homeland and making a living and doing stuff like that. What do you think about that? We've already showed you we have large numbers of African Americans who are living in Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, Uganda, Rwanda, and all these other places all over the internet and everything. So there's a favorable trend in Black America's influence in the Pan-African sphere, not just music, is growing. This is beyond. Well, let me tell you a background story to this, right? Back in the early '90s, right? Do you remember Randall Robinson? Do you remember him?
I don't.
Okay. Before your time, he's the director of Trans Africa, right? Good brother, man. Randall Max, his brother was a newscaster. Maxwell Ross. They met Tallberg. They were there in '79 when that right before the rice riots happened and everything. Randall Robinson lived in West Africa for years. He was a good brother, man. He was like the authority on Africa, West Africa particularly, And so he has a group of Trans Africa and everything. This is an NGO organization. They help out different governments. They did a lot of work in Africa, right? And I was a part of one of their affiliates right here in Norfolk, Virginia. And anyway, with the Shiloh Institute one time, right? During the time, it's the early '90s. I'm a young kid in my early 20s. Anyway, there was this issue going on right around the time of in Nigeria where Abacha took power. When Abacha took power, right, he basically started, doing a lot of things. He was cleaning the country up, right? There was one minister that didn't get the position that he wanted, right? Getting the position that he wanted, and he went. So he joined the opposition. That's the thing about Nigeria. That's what taught me about Nigeria. If you go to Nigerian government, when you're a new government in Nigeria, you step over wherever like that, you need credibility, right? One of the places you get credibility was in Black America, Trans Africa, if they like you and everything like that, okay, they take your cause up. Because we didn't have the media, we didn't have the internet and all that back then, So therefore, Trans Africa did a couple of articles. This guy, he was telling them, oh, Bacha's a crook, blah, blah, even though that wasn't true, right? So Randall Robinson got caught up in this nonsense and everything. And then this is funny, right? I was with this thing, these Nigerians almost got into this brawl. You know what I'm saying? These officials almost got into this brawl. I mean, it was really, really nasty. Anyway, Randall Robinson, I don't know if you remember, you Googled, right? He went on a hunger strike, right? No one knew what was going on exactly in Nigeria, right? But he went on a hunger strike, and then he went to the Nigerian embassy in DC and chained himself to the gate, right? And that gave him press coverage all over the world, right? And then these Nigerians pissed, how dare Randall Robinson, blah, 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 he don't know what the hell's going on. He was there right too, because Abacha was coming in to clear the government, right? They didn't, some of the people that Randall Robinson was supporting, right, didn't like some of the things that Abacha was doing, like he was getting rid of the structural adjustment programs of the World Bank and the IMF, right? So what happened was somebody fished into Randall Robinson. This guy Abacha's a dictator. So without really investigating, it was just a mess. But anyway, the bottom line, what that taught me was back then was black people in America got a lot of influence. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of influence if we really want to. You know what I'm saying? On the continent. And it taught me that basically in a time where black people's voice was basically silent.
Hey, hold on real quick, Colin. Listen, hold on. In the chat room, my dad, okay, was born in Chicago, Illinois, grew up in Jackson, Mississippi. All right. My mom, on my mom's side, they are from San Angelo, Texas. I am a descendant of the slave trade, my family. Okay, there we go. I just had to address it. And then we got about 10 more minutes and we'll close
okay,
out.
check this out. The bottom line, I'm the same thing. Dynasty are like brothers when we have the same ancestry. I'm a descendant of the transatlantic slave trade. My family was born. Both my families are from the Carolinas and Georgia, in Texas. And Macon, Georgia, the Gullah area. Fall side is from the Dismal Swamp, Creole family, and the Dismal Swamp in North Carolina, northeastern North Carolina, the Albemarle swamp people. People lived in the swamp and everything like that. And then most of my family were descendants of slaves that worked in plantations in the Carolinas. Okay, I am African American. You know what I'm saying? Just through and through. I'm not from the Caribbean. Many generations before slavery. You know what I'm saying? I'm African American. So bottom line, and I'm proud of that. Yeah, I'm not going to deny my ancestry. We could be, together and everything like that. But Black America and what my ancestors went through, I'm never going to deny my ancestry. You know what I'm saying? Yes, my ancestors were slaves on those plantations in America. Yes, I'm pissed off about that. Yes, I want vengeance for that, my slavery. Yes, I want to redeem my ancestors. One of the best way to redeem my ancestors is to make sure that our people, their names don't die. And how do their names die? We got to basically return and build a nation of our own to help build Africa. That's how we don't die. We don't sit here and let this be the end of the story. Because basically right now they're trying to cut us off around the country. Let me say this. What kind of country, right? You call yourself an American. You always an American. Why does America go around the world, right, and try to spread negative propaganda against African Americans? Most of the media in the world, right, negative images in the world of African Americans is done by the United States government. Anytime you see negativity towards African Americans, it's the United States government doing this. The United States government spread negative propaganda about black people, black soldiers, the soldiers with their uniforms on, and when they were stationed in Italy, when they were stationed in Japan, when they were saying this is the same government you are pledging your allegiance to. All right, Diane, can you talk me down on this? Am I losing my mind or something?
No,
you're pledging your allegiance to a country, but the same country is putting out propaganda against you while you're fighting for it. You're putting your life. That's an abomination. Your life is sacred. But you don't think much of yourself when you're gonna pledge allegiance to something that's gonna a country that's gonna belittle you and all kinds of stuff like that. Are you freaking insane? And you're gonna dare talk about color and my idea of having a nation of my own? Everything. I will never be happy until we have a nation of our own. Those who want to stay here, whatever like that, this is fine. But you're not gonna keep me silent. You know what I'm saying? I have every right to have a nation of my own. I have every right to have a flag over soil of my own. I have every right to have my own dignity. You know what I'm saying? I have every right to have my own human rights. Part of your human rights is you have self-determination. Or you have individual self. No. I have a right to be with my own people. My people belong to me. You know what I'm saying? Don't try individual. That's another thing is when you have a situation with the slaves and everything, they try to isolate that slave. Oh, you can go get a passport and go color. No, that's not enough. My goal is to be able to bring my people, and I got every faith that I could build a nation of my people because I love my people, and I think my people are the most beautiful people on the planet and everything. So I know we're gonna build something great, you know. But so I think that's it. How long we been on, Dennis?
We've been on for about an hour and 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and close out. And shout out to Travis. Shout out to Travis Irwin for the super chat. Thanks, Dinus, for the content and positive energy. I head to Ivory Coast next Thursday, everyone, and I'm probably gonna go back to Nigeria too. But go ahead and close out, Colin.
Okay, all right. Thank you for watching. You mute, man. Okay. Thank you for watching. Listen to the show tonight. This topic of tonight was Black America's global influence and everything. It's growing. You look at CNN, you won't see this, but these Block Talk shows and these shows are spreading. Why? Because of you, the listener. You, the listener, listen to the show. Something burns in your heart and soul, and I know I can see it because I listen to other people's chat rooms. I don't say nothing, but I see land infrastructure nationhood keeps coming up and everything. I see BAIO and colonization talking points popping up all over the internet. We are lighting the fire. The fire is burning, and we're creating an inferno, and it's burning and burning and burning out of control. Let me tell you what a spiral is. You know what a spiral is, folks? A spiral is like a virus. Something viral and spiral is this. Once something begins to turn, right, and when it spirals out of control, means that it keeps going and going and going to the point where you can't control it anymore. That's what's called spiraling. We are trying to make the BAIO spiral out of control. In other words, basically, it's spreading so thin that we can't control it. And when you spread those talking points of when people start talking to you, crying about police brutality, okay, it's time for a nation of our own. When you talk about, well, what are we going to do, this and the other thing, next time you're at one of your political meetings, what about a nation of our own? The reason why a lot of people are going to oppose you is because they're not like the BAO. They don't have a science group. They don't have people, engineers studying nation building. What's the possibility? We're the only group that does that. There's several other STEM groups that I like to get, but I don't know what the ultimate are. We're not in this for the money. Some people get on Facebook and they get thousands of members and everything. Right away they think about how they're going to monetize it, how they're going to blow up it. We're not doing that. Our goal is to gather engineers, scientists, all these people right here in many different fields and everything like that, and just put people together and say, look, it's time for us to be able to govern ourselves. Give the future generations a chance to govern ourselves. We can do it. We have the intelligence. We have the intelligence. Black America is probably one of the most advanced civilizations the world's ever seen. You know, our academics, our inventions, our contributions. You know what I'm saying? All the things we wrote and said to the world and everything. It should die in us being ghettoized? No, no. When people love the fact that we have all these black groups on Facebook that show Black history, people doing Black history stuff like that, and a lot of people that listen, right? A lot of people that listen, right? I didn't know that. You'll say, I didn't know Black people did that. I didn't know we invented Black people in America did this, and they know this. Some of them will say this little stuff like, but I do see sometimes I'll hear a Nigerian will get into an argument with a white racist and say, well, we had this guy, a Black man invented this in America. That makes me proud that he would go and say, identify with something our ancestors did. So we are making a lot of progress, and we just have to keep that progress up. Keep that progress up and keep it going. Anyway, if you want to talk to me more, talk to me. Join the BAIO, the Black African Infrastructure Organization. Join the colonization group on the BAIO. Join the STEM group. Join your state and local chapter. We are doing things in there and everything like that. It's only growing. And people say, well, how the BAIO? It's only going to grow when you come in and contribute and make it grow. You take proactive. The Chicago group, it's not Chicago, excuse me, Colorado group just had a meeting the other day and whatnot, and they laid out the charts and stuff like that of IT. It's really phenomenal how this is taking off. I'm really proud of the young people and what they're doing. And my job is just to provide, not be a leader, but provide leadership. That means basically being an example and and a motivator to people. So therefore, like I said, come in and make yourself at home. join us and join the BAIO and join the search for Uhuru. Keep supporting the show. Keep the lights up. This brother Dynas, you know, I can't even tell you enough how grateful I am for this platform thing, because this brother really made this really happen. You know, so thank you.
I appreciate it, Colin. Thank you, brother. And it's going to continue to grow. BIO, everything's going to continue to grow. But everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you go to Search for Uhuru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Also go to searchforuhuru.com, Amazon.com, social name Dynas Amir, and dynasamir.com, guys. Until next time, family, which will be tomorrow. Peace.